The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Schaap. You may know me from ESPN's Outside the Lines and Sports Center. What you probably don't know is that I've suffered from Crohn's disease for almost 20 years. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America's Take Steps, Be Heard walk program is the largest national walk program dedicated to raising funds and awareness to combat Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. To learn more about how you can help and to find a walk site near you, please visit www.cctakesteps.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire is Rod Evans.
Good morning to you, liberty lovers and ecclesiastics all across the globe. Welcome to Friday.
Welcome to Freedom Friday.
Yes, indeed, it is Freedom Friday. Today is June number 23 in the year of our Lord 2017. It is Freedom Friday. Every Friday we take things a little bit lighter, talk about some of the lighter subjects that we probably don't discuss during the rest of the week. Just to get ready to celebrate our gaining freedom going into the weekend. Call-in number this morning where you can talk about just about anything you want is 603-835-3226. And again, it can be just about any subject. You got questions, if you want to take me on about anything, I know there are some very brave people on Twitter who seem to want to, try to take me on Twitter, but in 140 characters, that's really brave. But let's get deeper into your. See, this is why people don't call in from the left, because 140 characters is about deep as they can go. They can't get any deeper than 140 characters because they don't know their subject. All they know is the wonderful taglines and sound bites that they get from news stories and the headlines from liberal newspapers. And they don't read. If they do read a little bit deeper, they use. This is known. This is the truth. They usually don't read any more than the first 2 or 3 paragraphs. That's it. And then they think they got the whole story. Why do you think a lot of times the real meat of a story, especially in places like the New York Times and the Washington Post and the LA Times and Chicago Tribune and Sun Times, why do you think the meat of the story most of the time is past paragraph 5? The truth of the story is past paragraph 5. Because they know that their liberal, idiotic minions don't read past paragraph 3. It's all sound bites for these people. I mean, sometimes it ticks me off. Really, I'm sitting there. Wait, you gave me 3 or 4 paragraphs of sound bites before you got to the actual facts of the story that you're writing about, that the headline is about. It takes 5 or 6 paragraphs in before you realize that they haven't been talking about it. They haven't given you any real facts. They've given you a bunch of sound bites, and You know this is true because those are the things that the wonderful people who in 140 characters or less will utilize. And of course, you'll have to say, well, geez, you're, talking about this story, right? Yes. In let's say the New York Times. Yes, this story in the headline. Yeah. Did you read paragraph 6, 7, and 8? No. Well, maybe you should learn to read past paragraph 3. But see, they don't. A lot of times they don't even pay attention to what their own wonderful publications tell them or print, because they don't read that far down, and it makes it well. You don't have any proof. Well, New York Times just said it. I read that story. No, it didn't. And then you have to go and copy it. Yeah, it was in paragraph 7. You obviously didn't read past paragraph 3. Sometimes that's what you got to do. I'm not kidding, folks. I mean, this is the God's honest truth. This is how this works. They have no depth to their argument, which is pretty sad. Because after you blow away their first 140 characters, then they just get into name calling and they just try to pull out every old liberal play in the book, and none of that stuff works with me. It just doesn't work. And I love it when they bring up the Bible. Oh, you call yourself a man of the cloth. You call yourself a Christian. Christians are not called to be weak. By the way. And don't let your stupid interpretation. There are a lot of misinterpretations of the Bible, and it's just modern day stuff. Pretty much just like any movie. How many people out there know that Humphrey Bogart did not say "Play it again, Sam" in the movie Casablanca? No, he didn't say it. But that's what everybody says. Play it again, Sam. He didn't say that. That line is not in the movie. But if you ask people, they say, yeah, that's the line in the movie. No. He said, and I quote, "If she can take it, so can I. Play it." He didn't say play it again. But that's how easy even pop culture can be misquoted over and over again until people believe that that's the actual truth. It's just like the Tina Fey, Sarah Palin thing. How many leftists believe Sarah Palin said, "I can see Russia from my house"? You'd be surprised the overwhelming people that believe Sarah Palin said that. It is just like they take things out of context in the Bible. They say, well, the love of money is the root of all evil. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says, and I quote in the proper translation, "A love of money is a root of all kinds of evil." It doesn't say that the love of money is the root of all evil. And it doesn't say money is the root of all evil. It says, a love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. That is what Christ said. But when you ask people, they say, no, money's the root of all evil. Money is not the root of all evil. There were tons of rich people that God made rich and blessed and that are listed in the Bible. If money was evil, how could God make them rich? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we get all the time. But in any case, today we're going to get into the before I forget. Later today we have the rant of the week. Yes, we got a rant for you this week. A classic rant from 2011, and boy, is it apropos for today. I mean, I can't believe how accurate I am, even years later. It's just unbelievable. Well, I mean, the truth is the truth, and you know, it's true now, and it's true back then. It doesn't matter how far back you go. The truth is just the truth. But we got today's holidays. If you want, now there's some interesting holidays today. I know, besides it being Freedom Friday and the traditional holiday, but we've got a weekend holiday. We've got some very interesting holidays. Like today is Pink Flamingo Day. It's dedicated to the kitschy lawn ornament that became a pop culture icon. Yeah, so it's Pink Flamingo Day. Today is, for those of you who are heading off to college, today is SAT Math Day, also known as Scholastic Assessment Test Math Day. Yes, it's SAT Math Day. Today is also Public Service Day. Yeah, so get out there and get your public service on today. We have another selfie day today. It's a runner's selfie day. Now, I don't know how, if you're running, you're going to be able to take a selfie. We've changed what the term selfie now evidently means somebody else taking our picture of us. No, a selfie does not mean. A selfie means you're taking your own picture with your own recording device. And that's a little difficult if you're running. I don't know many people who can do that. But today is Runner's Selfie Day. It is also National Pink Day. Not National Pink Cadillac Day, just National Pink Day. So get your pink on. It's also National Pecan Sandies Day, or is it pecan? Pecan, tomato. It's a rather meaty, fleshy, delicious nut. And if you're down south, it's probably a great day for you. Pecan Sandies. It's a cookie. My mother used to eat those a lot. We were not allowed to eat my mother. There were a couple of different types of foods that my mother, snacks my mother would buy. And the children were not allowed to eat them. Pecan Sandies was one, and Toffee Fay. I have no idea. She loved Toffee Fay. We were not allowed to eat her Toffee Fay. But today is not Toffee Fay Day. It's National Pecan Sandies Day. By the way, I've seen commercials of Toffee Fay lately. I guess it's coming back, huh? I thought Toffee Fay disappeared, went bye-bye. Like, I remember the Reggie candy bar. Yeah, that went bye-bye. I liked it, by the way. But I thought Toffee Fay went away too, but evidently it's coming back. Let It Go Day. Let it go, let it go, let it go. I don't know if Disney had anything to do with that, but it's Let It. I don't know if it's international or national. It's just Let It Go Day. Today is also Typewriting Day. Does anybody still have they don't call them typewriters now. What do they call them? Antique word processing units. Isn't I think that's what they're called now. A typewriter. The mechanical typewriter. I think it's an antique word processing unit. But anyway, today is the day that you celebrate the typewriter. Today is also Take Your Dog to Work Day. Well, I don't have a dog, so I'm not taking him to work. How many people get to take their dogs to work? There are workplaces that allow you to bring your dog in, your canine friend. Is there a international or national Take Your Cat to Work Day? I don't know. But the Take Your Dog to Work Day is observed on the Friday of the third full week of June. So every I don't think I ever worked in a company where you could literally bring your pet into work. Well, I didn't work for any pet company either, like Petco or any of the pet food company or anything like that. So I'm sure that every day is pet day in places like that. But it's take your dog to work, your canine friend to work. What if you have more than one dog? Can you bring more than one dog into work? If you have more than one, are you? What if you have a big dog? Like a Newfoundlander or a Great Dane. Can you bring those mini horses into work? What are the restrictions on bringing your dog into work? I don't know. I don't have a dog. I mean, I used to have a dog, but Jessie is long since passed away. She'd be about 20, 25 now, somewhere around there. Dogs don't live that long. I don't know. What's the oldest dog that ever lived? Anybody know? I don't know. I could look it up, but I'm not that interested. So if you know, you can put it in the you can call up with that answer, 603-835-3226, or you could type it into the chat room. But I don't know the answer. I don't know what the age of the oldest known dog ever was. If you know the answer, now don't look it up if you don't know. Well, go ahead if you want to, but you're supposed to know that kind of useless stuff. Today is also, finally today, it is International Widows Day. Now, this is one of the newest holidays out there. International Widows Day was adopted by the United Nations in 2010. And it was designed to bring light to widowed women all over the world, and especially those with children. International Widows Day. So in other words, it was the UN's way of recognizing we have widows and children that need to be taken care of, so we're going to call them refugees and bring them into Western countries. Now, might I remind people, just as a reminder, that these refugees with these children, well, the Tsarnaev brothers of the Boston Marathon bombing a few years ago were widow with children refugees. Just saying. Just saying.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, L-Rod, here on The Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
And now a message from our sponsor. Ladies, tired of drying your hair with the same old vacuum cleaner? Try Avon Shave brand new Beauty Locks portable hair dryer. It's smaller, it's faster, it's guaranteed to give you the hair you've always wanted in half the time. Beauty Locks is delicate and dainty, just like you. The dryer weighs only a pound and easily fits in your hand. Now that's beauty and convenience. With a speedy motor that will dry your hair in as little as 25 minutes, you can get gorgeous hair without falling behind schedule. Don't worry about the little ones or that pie in the oven. Thanks to an extra-long extension cord, you can move around while primping your locks. Forget those long trips to the salon and no more waiting for hours under monster machines. Avon Shave gives you an easy and speedy hairdo that will blow your man away. Get it now at your nearest Macy's.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
603-835-3226. That is the call-in number, should you wish to join me here live. By the way, speaking of live, people hear me talk about all of the stuff that the Twittering and stuff. Well, you can catch me. There's a number of different social media outlets that I am on that are connected with this program. Of course, there's the obligatory Facebook page, the Rod Eccles Show Facebook. There's also the Twitter, and by the way, I'm easy to find. It's just Rod Eccles on everywhere. I mean, yeah, I hide. I know I hide. It's hard to find me, but there's a Pinterest pages, and Pinterest is just a lot more. Yeah, I do Pinterest totally wrong. According to all those people that are professional Pinterest people, I do Pinterest completely wrong. Because I just have a bunch of pages, boards that interest me, as well as boards that are tied to this program. And you're not supposed to do that. You're only supposed to have, boards tied to that. I'm like, screw that. I'm just going to be me. You want to see what other kind of stuff I'm interested in? Pinterest is the perfect place to go. I just pin stuff because I like them. I got a ton of pins over there. There's, I've got the Rod Eccles Show board, the Americana board, the Freedom board, and as well as a bunch of other stuff. So Pinterest, Rod Eccles, easy. Again, just find me. LinkedIn, same thing. You can get me on LinkedIn. Google Plus, there's a Rod Eccles Show and a Rod Eccles Google Plus pages. And they do contain some slightly different stuff, and I follow slightly different people on those two different, because they're connected to, every time you get a Google email account, they give you a Google Plus. Well, I don't have that. I don't pay attention to that many Google Pluses, but those are two that I do. As well as some alternative places out there like Gab, G-A-B. Gab.ai is the alternate Twitter account that I have. Again, just Rod Eccles, L-Rod. As well as MeWe, which is basically an alternative Facebook. And if you don't like being chastised or filtered or feel like your freedom of speech is being hampered by, say, they do on Facebook and Twitter, then you'll want to check out Gab.ai and MeWe.com, because they do not erase posts. They don't block them. They don't block you. And there are a lot of people that have gone over to those places. And I know some people, they because it's new. They're newer, they're different. They don't have quite the reach that obviously Facebook and Twitter has. So things are a little bit different. But just remember, when you first started using, think of these things as being, I don't know, maybe pretty pre-2012 Facebook and Twitter. That's about where they are right now. As far as the layouts and all that kind of, and usefulness and things like it. But they're coming along. They keep making changes and now I don't know how MeWe operates, actually, because they don't sell your information. It's totally private. They don't sell your information. They don't follow you. But they don't sell ads. I don't know how they make their money and stay afloat, to tell you the truth. I really don't. I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't really thought a lot about it, but I don't know how they do it. But so those are all the different places. I don't know. I may be, other places that don't really count. Of course, you can find my different articles in various publications across the web. I do believe some of my articles have been printed in real print newspaper, the kind that you hold in your hands. So I'm just all over the place. And who knows? I could be coming to an area near you to speak live before you. By the way, if you do know of a place or you want me to come speak to you live, just contact me and we can make the arrangements, and I'll fly out or drive out to see you. Look, I've gone all the way to California, so I guess there's no place that's too far. Anybody in Alaska that needs a speaker? I'd really love to go to Alaska. That would be kind of fun. Alaska would be nice. We'll be back, folks.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
603-835-3226. Just as I thought that I don't know where he lives. I mean, he could live out in California, I suppose. My new Twitter playmate, Rob. He hasn't called in. He promised he was going to call in today. He called it. Here's a guy who calls the show after hours. I notice that somebody keeps calling because I don't usually answer the call-in line after the show goes off the air. But I know somebody kept calling. I'm thinking, well, either must be really, really important or they have the wrong number and they need to know. And so I pick it up when they call again, and it happens to be this character named Rob. I keep telling Rob, call back during the show. It's on 9 a.m. to noon. Well, I didn't know what time it was on. I don't know how you don't know it's on. Every time the damn thing is advertised, it says 9 a.m. to noon. But, hey, liberals can't follow directions. I get that part. He said, well, I'll call back in. And he tried to keep me on the phone. I'm like, dude, look, you can try every tactic in the book, but I have a life. I have work to do. This is, 9 a.m. to noon. That's when you call the show. We'll discuss all your little issues on the air. How about that? I'm not afraid to talk to you, so call back then. I actually had to hang up on him. And somehow he got the fact that I told him that, I don't know how many times, at least 5 times to call in between 9 a.m. to noon. And that I have other work to do. Somehow he thinks he got the thought that I blocked him because he tried calling back. And I didn't answer. So somehow he thinks that, well, Rod blocked me. I don't know how not answering the phone is blocking you. I told you the times to call in. You said you were going to call in. I told you I had other work to do. Our conversation was over as far as I'm concerned. Call back in when the show's live. And I hung up. That's not blocking. But you got to love how liberals try to twist things. But in any case, I haven't seen him yet. No Rob calling in. If you're listening, I'm calling you out, Rob, or whatever your name is. It may not be. It could be a stage name. Maybe it's not his government name. I have no idea. He sounds older too, so it's really good. I mean, it could be a good call. He sounds like he's in his 60s or 70s, like a Bernie Sanders type. But without the Vermont New England accent. I really didn't pay attention to where he has that erudite sound to him. It's the kind of voice that really that grates you the wrong way. You automatically know that they think that they're so smart because they're so smug. I love those kind of people because they're the biggest doofuses on the planet, actually. They think they're so smart. I've even had people say, well, yeah, they've even called themselves, erudite. And you call them out on it, and they'll say, well, I didn't say I was that. I'm like, yeah, you did. Do you not even know what erudite means? It's funny. They'll call themselves something which makes them sound really intelligent and really smart and really learned, and then you actually call them out by saying, oh, so you think you're a genius or you're really smart. And then they'll turn around, well, I didn't say that. Well, yeah, you obviously don't know what erudite means. I love that. I don't know. Maybe people don't think that I'm edumacated, and they can pull that kind of shit on me. I guess I don't know. No, I went to public school back in the day when they actually taught kids stuff, relevant, real stuff. They actually taught us English, proper English. They actually taught us proper math. They actually taught us science and history and social studies and civics. Yeah, we didn't learn that mommy had or that Jimmy has 2 mommies and Sally has 2 daddies. No, we didn't learn that kind of stuff. We learned the real stuff, the 3 R's. Speaking of learning, evidently there are people that don't get it, but Hillary Clinton evidently is back under in criminal investigation, according to Fox News. Fox News and picked up by conservatively.com. Hillary Clinton's tenure as Secretary of State has been plagued with several cases of corruption related to how her team negligently shared classified information across unsecured email channels on many occasions. And evidently, the State Department has opened another formal inquiry into whether or not Clinton and her aides mishandled classified information. Yet we're still hooked on this whole no evidence Trump or the Trump administration or Trump team colluded with Russians in the election in 2016. No evidence whatsoever. Democrats even tell us there's no evidence, though we don't have any evidence. But yet they still want to pursue that investigation. 18 months in, they still want to pursue it. Hillary Clinton knowingly used an illegal email server to house classified documents and conversations illegally. And yet that's passé, that's over, that's done. There's nothing to see here. That's, no big deal. She's irrelevant. Really? And you think maybe the American people know that Hillary Clinton is one of the most corrupt politicos alive today, and that's why she didn't get elected to be president. But you want to trump up, no pun intended, these charges against Donald J. Trump and his team. No evidence whatsoever. By the way, do you know how all this got started? Do people remember how this Donald Trump collusion stuff There were two things that started this. Two things. Hillary Clinton herself said it about because of her email stuff, and then Trump made a joke about it, saying, "Well, maybe the Russians can find it. Maybe the Russians can find her emails." And all of a sudden, whoa, how would Trump know that the Russians had her emails? And that stupid fake dossier about the golden showers on Obama's Russian bed or a Russian hotel bed or something like that. It was and it was proven to be fake numerous times. Even the person who wrote it said it wasn't real. But that's how this whole thing got started. A joke on Hillary and a fake document. That's how this whole thing, really. And we have the real stuff, the real goods on Hillary, and they didn't want to investigate that, or they wanted to close the investigation or block the investigation. I think Comey let that slip out of the bag. By the way, he was at the New York Times yesterday. He was at the New York. What the hell was Jim Comey and his wife doing at the New York Times? Well, according to Trump, he's over there leaking again. There's a song, and I can't play the song on here, not because I don't have permission, just because it's a nasty song. But yeah, it's from the Yin Yang Twins. If anybody knows the song, Salt Shaker. They have a clean version that plays on the radio, but even the clean version is not all that clean. So I mean, I can be raunchy sometimes, but damn, that's a raunchy song. Let me tell you. But that's leaking. That's Comey. That is Comey. He's a raunchy leaker. I can't, well, anyway. Let's take a call here on Freedom Friday. 731. I do believe this is my darling. How you doing?
Hey! You know
Good
what?
morning.
I saw where Comey, it's not like he can sneak in the New York Times. He can't sneak in.
Well, yeah, he tried. Him and his wife had sunglasses on, because we know all Hollywood stars wear sunglasses, so we don't recognize them. So, because there are a lot of people running around that are 6 feet 8 inches tall.
Yeah, right, exactly. I saw that snapshot of him going in there. I thought, I guess he's got some more to leak. Since Trump actually called his bluff and said, I don't have any tapes. Whoops. He leaked. Well, he had to go on the committee meeting and admit that he was the one who leaked. So now I guess he's just going to blatantly walk in the front doors of the New York Times and let us just see it all hang out, right?
Yeah, even I say that Trump is not a politician, but evidently Trump knows how to play the political game very well, because he just manhandles these people. They just come out and start saying and doing things, and then he just steps back and says, well.
He gives them a rope. It's not tied, but he gives them a rope, and then they make the knot for him. But listen, Robert Mueller, McCabe, Comey, they all need to be in what I call in the South, the slammer. You know what the slammer is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where they need to be. And Hillary, she needs to be at a lower level. She needs to go in even as the top dog. They're just blatant. They're blatant criminals. And they walk around. It's like they don't even try to hide it. And it just blows my mind how they think that they're above the law. Can you imagine if we did something like that?
Well, I mean, there are people that have done something like that, and they're in jail. I mean, how about the Submariner, the U.S. Submariner?
Yeah, the guy that took the picture for his son on the submarine.
Yeah, I mean, and most of that sub has been declassified, but he took a picture in a certain area, and I guess it caught something that still is classified. But that was it. He had no intent of sharing that. He just took the picture for himself and his family. And they're like, "Nope, you broke the law, my man." And he said, "Well, I didn't mean to. I mean, I'm here serving my country. I didn't mean to share this." They go, the intent doesn't matter. And then we get Comey that says, "Well, I didn't catch any intent of her to do any ill will, so we can't prosecute her." Well, this poor seaman is in jail for just taking a benign picture.
Exactly. Well, that's what I hope that our good buddy Rob is listening, because I told him yesterday that you would eat his lunch. He needed to call during the hours. But see, he can't stand. He wouldn't be able to stand up because, like you said, he doesn't read past the first or two paragraphs. That's what they do. And whatever his age is, he's not very intelligent.
Well, I mean, he could be a professor for all we know. Well, just because I know he could, having a college degree does not equate to intelligence. I know, but it could mean that he spent a lot of money trying to get intelligent, but it just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, well, he needs to he needs to get another platform because he doesn't impress me at all. He doesn't impress me. But anyway, hopefully, and about the dog, I want to answer my lab lived to be 17 and a half years old. And I got a real quick story.
You had a Labrador that lived to be 17?
17 and a half. Listen. And he was the greatest dog ever. And he used to go to the office with me. Anyway, I would just take him, and he would sit behind the desk. And so this woman comes in, we're near closing time, and she comes in, she's holding a cat. And she tells my girl at the front desk, she says, I need, my cat needs to be seen. And she's like, "Oh, ma'am, we see human. This is an office where we see, human." No, I was in here before, and there was a white dog behind there, and I know she sees animals. The woman was distraught that I couldn't see her cat. So I got tickled this morning when I was listening to you say that. Because, so be careful when you take your dog to work, because they may bring a cat that needs assistance. You don't know what to do. Oh, all right. Well, I just wanted to make our Freedom Friday a little bit more free while I go get my pink on.
Yeah, there you go. Go get your pink on. Thank you, darling.
I'm going to go get my pink. Okay, have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
17 and a half for that's highly unusual. Labs are a breed that don't usually live too far past 10 to 12. The smaller dogs tend to live longer than the larger. If you have a large breed dog, their average age is somewhere around less than 10 years, around 7, 8, 9, 10. German Shepherds, the police dogs, they're notorious for dying early. This is why they only serve as police dogs for 4 to 6 years, and then they get retired, and they only live to be like 7 or 8 or 9. I don't know why. Just the way things are. I mean, but some dogs, get the small breeds, they can live to be, 15, almost like a cat. And then most cats live 15 to 20 years. But I wish dogs live longer. Can somebody work on that? Can God work on that, making canines live longer? Less than a decade is not enough.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
Welcome back. So, next hour we have the rant of the week. You're not going to want to miss that. So we'll get into that as when we get back from the top of the hour break. Comey is in New York City. Well, I don't know. I guess he was supposed to be going other places too. Who knows? I guess he's just going to go full-on leaker. He's leaking. Yeah, that's about as much as I can say of the Yin Yang twins. He's going to be out there. Well, I'm sure we'll see the stories in New York Times soon. Comey said... Are we going to get this? Is he going to become Confucius-like, or Sun Tzu-like? Sun Tzu says, the art of war. Are we going to get it like Comey says? Comey says that Trump said that there was a recording of their luncheon in their conversation. And by the way, might I remind people that Comey lied about a lot of things, evidently. And the first time that he and Trump were alone together, according to other people who were there in the room, it wasn't Trump who requested to clear the room. It was Comey. And Comey testified that Trump, I was so scared. I was scared because Trump wanted to be alone. I didn't want to be alone with that man. And it was he was the one that did it, that asked for it. So just so people know, the wonderful Comey is not so wonderful, people. The man was just incompetent. I mean, he may have been a good lawyer, he may have been a good U.S. attorney and prosecutor, but as director of the FBI, he was incompetent. He was terrible. He didn't do his job, and he was running around trying to protect the wrong people. You don't protect Loretta Lynch if she tries to break the law, and then later on try to bring down a president for not doing a damn thing, and let go a known criminal, Hillary Clinton. Well, she's not a known criminal because she hasn't been convicted of anything, but we all know that she actually did what she did, what she's accused of doing. She's even admitted it. So there's no question about it. She's an unconvicted criminal. That's how we'll put it. Because that's what we say, well, they're a convicted murderer, a convicted criminal, right? That's what we say. Well, she's an unconvicted criminal. She's admitted to doing things that are illegal, so that makes her a criminal. Well, yes, I had this stuff on it, but we didn't intend to put any classifying information on the server. But I had the server. But she also broke the law by erasing data that the FBI and others subpoenaed and wanted. People go to jail just for that. That's called obstruction of justice, or hindering an investigation. People go to jail for that. So let me see. Let's rack up everything for Hillary here. She knowingly had an unsecured server and used it for government work. Illegal. She knowingly and unknowingly had classified information that was on that server, unsecured. Illegal. Then she knowingly erased lots and lots and lots of emails after those emails were asked to be turned over for investigation. Illegal. She tried to, I love it when she answered, did you try to scrub or clean the computer, the hard drive? You mean like wipe down the outside of the box? I love it how she can just act so down homey stupid when she wants to. That woman knew exactly what they were asking. So she did all of that stuff knowingly, even admitted to a lot of it. And yet there's all that evidence, and she's still running around free. She's still allowed to run for president and almost win. But Trump makes a joke about Russian collusion. And we have endless investigation. Even after the sitting president, Barack Obama, said there's no way that the Russians could have, gotten into our election system and tampered with it, changed votes and all that kind of stuff. Have you noticed that they've tossed Obama aside on that issue? Anybody noticed that? Yeah, Obama got tossed aside on that. He did.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve. As they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire is Rod Eccles.
And good morning, welcome back. Hour number 2 here on this Friday morning.
Welcome to Freedom Friday.
Yes, indeed, it is June number 23 in the year of our Lord 2017, which means it's Freedom Friday, and every Friday we take things on the lighter side. You can call in and talk about just about anything under the sun that you wish to. 603-835-3226 is the call-in number, and that call-in number is live and active 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time here when the show is live. So welcome back to all of you Liberty lovers and ecclesiastites as we prepare here in northern New England for a potential or possible thunderstorm today. Yeah, we had sun yesterday, so that was the only sun that we're allowed for the next couple of days. We're going to be cloudy and gray and probably rainy over the next couple of course, it's the weekend. So, you know, but if you have a porch or you know, what do they call those things? Not pergolas, but if you have a shed or anything like that, or, you know, covered space, covered deck, you can still enjoy the barbecue, even if it rains. But if you have an open air patio, then you're going to get soaked. Kind of sucks for eateries that have patios, outdoor, you know, out dining al fresco. Because most of the, well, I mean, I know they have the little umbrella, they have the umbrellas on the table, but that's just to keep out the sun, really, from beating down on you, making you uncomfortable. It's not going to keep the rain off because those umbrellas are not that big to. And as a server, who wants to deliver food in the rain and have your food get all soaked by rain? It's not fun. So a lot of places like that, they are not able to fulfill their summer destinies when we have too much rain. We have, by the way, we are, most places in New England, most places in all of New England are above average rainfall for the season so far and the month so far. There are flash flood warnings. Every time it rains, there are flash flood warnings in New England now. Because, you know, we're above normal. And yet there are some towns in Massachusetts that still are operating on drought schedules. As if there's a drought. I kid you not. You know, odd even watering days and limits on washing your car in your own driveway. Yeah, I mean, well, we gotta save water because we could go back into a drought. So some of them, they don't. These are the people that don't understand how nature works. They don't understand how it works. But these are people that say, well, flooding is nature's way. I actually heard somebody say this. Flooding is nature's way to tell us to preserve our water resources through a drought. And I'm thinking, you must be some kind of stupid. How the hell can you come up with a statement? I don't even know how you formed that statement in your head. Because that didn't make any sense. Flooding is nature's way of telling us to preserve water resources through droughts? I have no clue how they come about with that one. I don't know. But yeah, those are liberals, though. Liberals. I mean, these people, I mean, the stuff that comes out of their mouths sometimes, you just sit back and all you can do is say, huh? You know that look you get on your face when you do that? When somebody says something really dumb? Well, that's how you get with liberals, but 100 times worse. And you just sit there and your eyes furl, your forehead furls, and your mouth gets that puckery type of thing, and your nose crinkles, and you're just like, huh? What? And you do that because you may understand that you're not the most learned person on the planet. You get that. I mean, most people get that about themselves. Most people understand it, where their intellectual limits are. But even you immediately understand that is some real dumb BS right there. And you just can't believe. I mean, a statement like that is so bad that even the Hatfield and McCoys down there in Deliverance country. Yeah, we you got y'all come down here anytime y'all want to. We'll do some possum hunting and we'll just float down the river, maybe catch a gator or two. And you go down there and say, well, flooding is nature's way of reminding us or warning us to preserve water resources in cases of drought. And you'll get that wonderful down-home dude looking at you and going, yo, what, huh? What he just say? He didn't, that boy's stupider than I am. That boy's stupider than me. What he just say? You can't make this stuff up. Oh, anyway. Before we get too far into the hour, it is time for, this is the hour where I promised you, the rant of the week. And this week's rant comes to us from February 18th, 2011, which also happened to be a Friday, by the way. Interesting. So, getting into it, and it talks about, well, we have we got more stuff today about, we'll get into about the healthcare bill. Got some financial stuff that is going on. It has to do with taxes and stuff, and this is kind of apropos for that. So, without further ado, here is the rant of the week from originally aired on the Rod Eccles Show on Friday, February 18th, 2011. You can get that whole episode, by the way, over on Blog Talk Radio.
We're saying, well, all we need to do is go out and $3.6 billion hole in Wisconsin. All we need to do is just go, according to this jackass, all we got to do is just go out there and make sure that everybody's paying their taxes and catch the ones that aren't. Okay. So you add a bunch more local IRS equivalent agents for the state of Wisconsin. And that's going to cost you money, for one. And two, I don't think everybody who's not paying their fair share adds up to be $3.6 billion. Not to mention, what does he mean pay more taxes? This is what I've been trying to tell you guys forever. You liberals out there who are just your mainstream liberals, your everyday next-door neighbor liberal who are not the wacko nut jobs or in leadership anywhere, why are you people liberals? All they're out there to do is steal your money. They are out there protesting the fact that public employees, are going to have to do what you do in the private sector. First of all, they're making more than you are in the private sector, most likely. And second of all, they have better pension and health care plans than you do, and they pay little to nothing for them. In order to keep from paying little to nothing for those perfect plans of theirs, they want you the person who actually earns less than they do to pay more taxes so they can keep getting it for free. I mean, think about this. You know, you guys, you liberals think, oh, well, it's going to help the poor. BS is going to help the poor. It's going to line their pockets. We've been telling you this for decades now. This money is not, government is not in the position to help people. Not like that. It isn't. It's not designed for it. And as a matter of fact, this is proof because it's just lining their pockets. When you've got the average income in the United States is what, under 60 grand? But if you're in the government, the federal government, it's almost six figures. They're making almost twice what the average American makes, and the average American is paying their salary. And then you add on top of it their A+ A-rated health care and pension plans, of which, by the way, they almost didn't want to touch for the health care debacle that we've got now. They almost didn't touch it. Why? Because they already had a golden parachute plan. Why mess with perfection, right? It's you and me, the average citizen, that's going to get the shaft. But you people are still liberals out there saying, no, but we need to help the poor. Well, your money is not going to help the poor. You want to help the poor? Give to your local charity or church. Or go out there directly yourself and help. But don't expect to get, the best way to do it is to have some government program, because half the time, half the money that you're spending in your taxes is going into the pockets of those people who are supposed to be administering the government program. I mean, think about it. There's nothing more to... I don't know what else to tell you. The facts are the facts. We know this. And it's coming out every single state that's having a budget crisis or budget problem, and they're looking at public employees to help solve the problem. They're all demanding, no, don't touch my pension plan. When was the last time you had a pension plan where you got to participate and, spend less than 5% of your own money and get tons of cash back? I mean, I heard it on Hannity yesterday. There was somebody calling in, and Hannity had to straighten this person out. He says, well, wait a minute, wait. And this is not a dig against police officers at all, or first responders. But if you're a police officer or a fireman, it's kind of like the military, because they're rough, tough jobs on the mind and the body. And in 20 years, you can retire. You get full pension, full, service benefits at 20 years. Well, one of the issues is with cops, obviously, is that they can start very young. They can be 20 years old, be a cop. And I have always disagreed with that unless you've been militarily trained, you should not be able to be a cop under the age of 25. I'm serious. But I've already talked about that before, because there are way too many, 22 to 25-year-old cops that are just – we've got one here in my home, in the town that I live in. And if he didn't have a badge on, I swear to God there would be many times that I have encountered him that I would slap the piss out of him because he is such an arrogant prick. And he's only that way because he has a badge and a gun. And that's not the way you are when you're dealing with the public. Literally. No, he's not representative of all police officers. Trust me, I've got friends who are, I've got friends in blue that carry the badge. And I meet new cops that I become friends with all the time. I'm not anti-cop. Generally speaking, I don't like cops, but I'm not anti-cop. I have friends that are cops. I like my friends. Unfortunately, none of my friends are cops in my jurisdiction. I know a couple of state troopers, but again, they're not really of much help in your own town. But this kid is just, he's probably like 23 years old, but he's just an arrogant prick. Can't stand him. And part of the reason is because he's so dang young. He gets a stupid 2-year degree at a community college, and then they give him a job and a badge. Not a good idea. But these guys, on the force, 20 years old, 21 years old, they join the force. So by the time they're 40, 40 to 45, they can reach full retirement benefits. And they retire from the force. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. Except note that they're only 40 to 45. That's a full 20 to 25 years before, 65 before federal retirement. They can have another career all the time. My dad was in the military for 22 years. He retired in his early 40s from the military, and he was able to have another, 20-some-odd year career outside of that. It's a great deal if you can stick it out for 20 years. And I'm not And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be able to do that for the people who are first responders in our service and our public defenders like that. But this is also the same aspect that your regular Joe Schmo office worker gets in the government. Many governments, be it local or state, even federal. You put in 20, 30 years, you can get a full pension. That means we, the public taxpayer, is on the is footing the bill for them not earning a dime or not making any money and not doling out any service to the public for the next 20, 30, 40 years. We can't afford that anymore, especially when they're not contributing to their own pension. So we've got to give them, a $75,000 salary, plus we got to give them a health care package that's worth about $24,000, plus an annual pension package that's worth at least $12,000. So we got to pay these people over $100,000 a year for the next 30 years, and then pay them, their pension after that, and they haven't had to put a dime into it. Oh no, we can't afford that anymore. Never could afford it, but we definitely can't afford it now. So now it's time for the wonderful public unions to pay their fair share, get off the public dole, and start acting and participating like a true American citizen. That's all there is to it.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
of the things that the state of Illinois is having trouble with right now is all their mandated payments and their pension fund payments to public employees and former public employees. I mean, that's a big. I mean, they're spending so much on this stuff right now. I mean, you got Andrew Cuomo, Mario Cuomo's son over in New York, talking about eliminating or cutting back on pension plans for teachers and other public people. And those unions they're having a fit because, well, first of all, you're a Democrat. You're not supposed to say that. But even Andrew Cuomo understands, well, look, we can't afford this. It is approaching, these types of payments are approaching 100% of our revenue. That's before we even get to the rest of running the rest of the state. In other words, for us to be able to afford this, we're going to have to double taxes. I mean, even for Andrew Cuomo, doubling the taxes on the people of New York State, that's not possible. So, I mean, this is it's not possible. You cannot tax your way out of bad spending. You just can't do it. You're going to bankrupt everybody. And as far as police officers go, well, you know, do you know why it's hard to beat up some police officers? Well, because they're former military. That's why. The ones that usually get taken advantage of are the ones who were not trained in the military and do not have any combat skills, martial arts training at all. They don't. All they do is go to college and they think they can put on a ballot badge and that they're going to be tough. That only happens in the movies. It's also why a lot of most female police officers were never in the military. Now, again, I have nothing against cops, most cops. But it's very difficult for some people to be able, and it doesn't matter your size. I'm not going to say your size because I have a friend who's a state trooper. His first name is Greg. He's a little guy. He's like 5'7", maybe 130, 140 pounds. Just a little blonde guy. But he's a former Marine. He was in Iraq. I saw him wrestling he was wrestling two friends of ours. He took them both down. This little kid. Well, he's not a kid anymore. He's like 30-something now, but he's just a little guy. But he was well-trained. So that's size doesn't necessarily matter. So even if you're a woman, but if you're well-trained to be able to take somebody down and to defend yourself, that's what counts. But most women police officers, they're not trained that way. And understand that there are some females, especially if they're military trained. You got to be careful. I wouldn't want to make them mad in a dark alley somewhere. They beat your ass. But our men and women in blue, they do deserve respect. But understand, again, I stand by my statement. If you're under 25 and have not been in the military, I don't think we should be giving you a badge and a gun. The maturity level. Look, you can't even drink until you're 21. Some people want to raise it to 25. Why would we give you a badge and a gun at such an early age then if you can't handle liquor? Just saying. Yeah. We'll be back with more in just a minute. Call Rod now. 666-603-835-3226.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
You know, I think I have the perfect way to improve every police department around the country. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to be serious about this for a second. Because I don't want people to think, well, Ron is just anti-police. No, I'm not. I don't know how many times I've had to say that. But here's how we could improve our police departments. So we have a lot less, we already have very few, very minute amount of bad apple cops. They're there. We know that. But this is how you even reduce that further. It's a two-prong approach. One, unless you've actually been and served in the military, under 25, you do not get a badge and gun on patrol. Plain and simple. You can still be, part of the police department. You could call it well, not rookie, but an apprenticeship, where you have to do you could be dispatchers and other things that non-patrol duty stuff. The second thing that we can do is that every single cop, go to the police academy, that's fine, but gets actual military training, not to militarize our police. I'm not into militarizing our police. I'm not into giving them armored, surplus military equipment. That's not a good idea in my book. Because in most cases, it's not needed. If you're a criminal, SWAT teams are good enough, to tell you the truth. But, well, if every cop was trained like that, you'd have a lot less bad cops. I believe so. You would have a lot less things go wrong in the field. I believe that too. This is why I think military training. You would have cops that be better able, all cops would be better able to defend themselves and their partners if they were militarily trained. Full scale. Who would have a problem with that? I would not have a problem with that. Well, being a cop is a tough job. Why would we not want them to be as well trained as possible? I don't understand it. I've seen, look, I've watched police who've been in the military and well trained, and police who've not been. All they've gone is to the police academy. And who's the better cop? Well, 99.9% of the time, it's the one that was in the military. Hands down. No questions asked. So why don't we just make all cops do that? Go through that. Seems to me that we'd have a better police. We'd have better policing. We'd have better disciplined cops. We'd have fewer bad cops. We'd have fewer things for liberals to complain about on a cop. Oh, yeah, look, he shot him for no reason. We'd have fewer reasons for that. Now, of course, you can't eliminate all the negative stuff when it comes to policing. It's just not possible, not in a society like ours and our size. You're still going to have issues. But it's not going to be, if they were all militarily trained like that and they were all mature, it wouldn't happen that way. We wouldn't have the problem that we have today. Really wouldn't. There was a time, there was a time when cops were not military trained, but they were well respected and they were very mature. Remember when cops used to, if you're under the age of probably 40, you probably don't remember cops walking the beat. Cops used to walk the beat. People used to get to know the police officer. I've often said that that's part of the problem too. We don't know who the cops are anymore in our neighborhoods. They sit in it. Well, I understand it's kind of difficult. It's a two-prong problem because, cops are targeted in some areas, so they don't want to be walking in an area where they get targeted. But part of the reason why they're being targeted is because nobody knows them. Cops used to walk the beat. They used to get out and walk down the street, not in just the small Mayberry towns, but even in the big cities. New York City used to have cops that walked the neighborhoods. The storefront owners and the residents knew those cops. Called them by their first name. If there was something out of place, they'd run it. Hey, go get Joe. Man, go run, find Joe. Bring Joe. Joe's one of the local beat cops. Go get Joe. Comes running. He goes, "What's up?" And he calls everybody by name because he knew them. And everybody in the neighborhood trusted Joe. This is a two-way street here, folks, when it comes to trusting our public officials. in believing in them. First of all, we have to be able to trust them and believe in them. But they also have to be able to relate to us. They have to be in the fields with us. They have to be in the streets with us, like they used to be. They can't be sitting in, high and mighty somewhere in Washington D.C. and then when they grant us a public viewing in a town hall, we should be so thankful, because if we don't do things the way they want the way they want things done in the town hall, then they're going to cancel the town hall. Now, that's a bunch of bullshit. No way in hell that should happen. We've gotten to the place that we've gotten to simply because we've lost confidence and trust in our public officials. I don't care if they're a cop, or if they're a fireman, or if they're a city councilman, or if they're a governor, or if they're a senator, or one of the reasons why Donald Trump is so effective and his support doesn't look what he's doing. The man is out there still giving large events, town hall meetings. Look what he's doing. Because normally when the presidential thing to do is, every once in a while you'll give a speech somewhere that the hand-chosen, few people can get to see. That's because he's president. He's untouchable. That's BS. The president is the representative of the entire nation, the people of the entire nation. And Donald Trump is running around out there. I mean, he's spending money flying all over the place, but he's flying all over the place in this country, giving speeches and getting in touch with and staying in touch with the very people who elected him in the first place. Do you realize that is the reason that Trumpsters are not abandoning Donald Trump? Because he's trying to keep his word as best he can while being president, that all the promises that he made on the campaign trail. And he's going out there being directly in touch with the people who supported him and elected him in the first place. And you cannot abandon a guy who keeps in touch with you, who keeps reminding you and you keep reminding him of what he's there for. You can't abandon a person like that because he's real to you. You don't abandon a cop on the beat who's walking the streets and knocking on doors and saying hi and walking into stores. Hey, how you doing today, Mel? And Mel hands him a cup of coffee and he goes across the street. Hey, how you doing, Phil? Any problems today? No. And he goes into the news shop and says, hey, John, you got any problems? Well, there's this kid over there that was like hanging around, kind of hanging around doing things I didn't understand. Okay, I'll check it out, John, no problem. And so he finds the guy who's causing the potential problems, checks him out, all because the neighborhood is in touch with the cop and the cop is in touch with the neighborhood. And all because the people are in touch with Donald Trump and Donald Trump is still in touch with the people. The ones who are getting the low grades, those are the congressmen and senators in both parties. Because they're hiding themselves on Capitol Hill in D.C. and they're not being in touch with their constituents. That's the problem. I mean, that's the problem, folks. That is why Donald Trump isn't losing his base. And if you actually look at real polls that do it properly, that is why he is also increasing his support, and his approval rating is going above 50%. That is also why Democrats can't seem to win. Everybody's wondering, why can't Democrats win? Why aren't they winning? It doesn't matter. They're all supposed to be backlashing against Donald Trump. Why can't they win? They can't win because they're out of touch. They're out of touch with their own base, let alone the rest of the American people. They don't get in touch with them. They don't want to talk to them. If you don't think like they do, they think that you're a Neanderthal. They think you're stupid. And I'm talking about you liberals out there. Your so-called party leaders think that you are stupid. This is why nobody's paying attention to them. This is why they can't win, even when they try to cheat. Because when you lose touch with the people that you're supposed to be serving, you're no longer serving those people. And those people know it. And they won't trust you. They won't converse with you. They won't help you. But you keep in touch with them, man. And let me tell you, you're not going to lose them. They will support you and back you up. Remember that, how many times has it? Today it is so rare. It is if a cop is in trouble or gets injured, how often does the public come to the side of the cop? It's rare. It used to be the norm. You had a single cop and he was having some trouble, and what happened? The neighborhood got involved and helped the cop. Why? Because they knew the cop. They liked the cop. They trust the cop. And they understood that keeping their neighborhood safe was a community proposition, not just the police department's proposition. And they would back the cops up. And guess what you'd have? You had a lot less of this, well, he killed him for no reason. Nuh-uh. That didn't happen back in the day. That was rare. And you sure as hell didn't have the media jumping on police officers. I mean, today that's all that happens. I mean, every time a cop pulls his gun out, he's got to justify why he did it, according to the media. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. We should be, a cop pulls his gun on a criminal, every law-abiding citizen that has a gun should be pulling their gun out on that criminal, too, to back up the cop. That's what should be happening. They shouldn't be pulling out their cell phones so they can film the whole thing, hopefully thinking that the cop will do something wrong so they can give it to the news so the news can beat down on the cop. That's what everybody does today. Well, that's wrong. As far as me, if there's an issue where a cop is in trouble and he needs another gun and I have mine on me, you better believe it, he's got my gun. And I got his back. There ain't no way in hell I'm pulling out my cell phone, hopefully to catch the cop doing something wrong. No. It's the criminal that needs to pay. I don't. When did Law and Order go out of fashion? When did understanding and knowing those who represent you and those who represent you keeping in touch with you go out of fashion? When did it become nothing but an elitist program? When did the Constitution become an elitist program that only those who are elected get to decide what the Constitution really means? When did that happen? I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure out how it just happened over a long period of time. We were slowly boiled in this direction. This is terrible. I mean, it really is just plain terrible. I mean, it's just terrible. I don't know why anybody would want to join the military, and frankly, I don't know why anybody would want to be a first responder today. The way we treat them, we don't give them enough training, and then when they do make a mistake because they're human, we want to jump all over them, throw them in jail, and then we don't want to support them at all, and we want to take kids that shouldn't be. Too young and not mature enough. We want to throw them out in the streets, dangerous streets at times, and wonder why, and Hell, half the time they pull out their gun, they're probably shaking because they don't want to make a mistake. But they have no historical reference, no wisdom behind them to help them make decisions. And so they make the wrong decisions in a snap decision. Because, you got a fractions of a second a lot of times between life and death. Is it you or them? And we always want to sit back and second guess these people constantly. Split second. And we're supposed to, they're supposed to know exactly what's going in the other person. I guess maybe, you know what? That's it. That's it. I got the answer. We don't need to train cops in military tactics anymore. We don't need them to train them in the proper use of firearms and policing. We don't need to teach them any of that. What we really need to do is somehow teach every single cop to be a mind reader, because if they know exactly what you're thinking, then they'll be able to handle you every single time. We need to teach them to be mind readers. That's the way to do it.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message. A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. There's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people, you suck.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Warning. Listening to the Rod Eccles Show by the Idiot Left may cause outrage, fear, a need for safety pins and or spaces. If you experience any of these symptoms or are allergic to truth, tune in and learn something.
603-835-3226. Folks, if you are in need, sorry, folks. I have a little four-legged friend who snuck into the studio again, trying to get my attention. If you are in need of some extra income, or maybe just a career change or a new job, and you like to travel, you like to drive, might I suggest that you check out QualityDriveAway.com. Yes, Quality Drive Away is one of the largest companies in its field in North America. You ever wonder how they get all those Winnebagos and school buses and the tractor trailers to different locations around the country from where they're manufactured? Obviously, they're not manufactured in every city. Well, they have to transport them there. But you realize and you know that, well, they're too big to be put on trains, and obviously they're not put on the back of car carriers because they're too big, they're too long. How do they get those things everywhere? Well, they have transporters, quote unquote transporters. And those transporters are people like you who are willing to drive these things from the manufacturer or the lot to the place where they need to go, to the dealership or what have you. And that's all over the country. Doesn't matter. Now, with Quality Drive Away, you get to choose where you go. And you get to choose whether or not you want to take that drive. And you want to talk about getting paid to go on vacation. You know, I've mentioned this before. Let's say you live in New York or Pennsylvania and you want to go on vacation in California. Well, you just hook up with one of the 23 regional delivery offices of Quality Drive Away. Find a particular item that is going from your area, from Pennsylvania or from New York, that's going out towards California, and deliver it there. Get paid for delivering it. And then spend your time out there in your vacation, and then look at a West Coast Quality Drive Away dispatch center and drive all the way back and get paid for going back home. So you don't no more paying an airline or a bus company or a train company to send you to take you to California. Get paid to go out to California, have your vacation, and then get paid to come back. You can do stuff like that. QualityDriveAway.com for all the information. They're the biggest, they're the baddest, they're probably the best at what they do. Check them out. We have not enough time really to get into this subject, so we'll have to save that until after the break. By the way, did you see this? There is a guy out there, and this is from the Daily Mail. There's a guy out there who shot and almost killed another man for catfishing. Yeah. Do you know what catfishing is? Well, I guess I don't have enough time to get into catfishing either, but let's just say it's a transgendered person, almost, kinda, sorta. We'll get into that after the break.
Today, there's a beer for everyone.
Hey, me and the guys are going out for beer. You want to come along?
Nah, I got a lot of data to enter into the computer tonight.
Now, there's a brew for the future.
Want me to bring you something back?
Thanks, but I got some right here.
Microsoft Brew.
You got a beer tap on your computer?
With a head so thick you can float a mouse on it.
Let me get this straight. You make your own beer with the computer?
With the right software, you can do anything.
Microsoft Brew.
Here, I call this one Windows 95.
I don't know. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
And if you got to get there quicker, try the new ISDN malt liquor.
When I found out I had atrial fibrillation, a serious but highly treatable heart condition, the first thing I thought of was who would take care of my wife and children if anything were to happen to me. My doctor recommended Prevactin. I had a lot of questions, so I did some research. It turns out Prevactin is the #1 recommended drug for Crohn's disease. I think my doctor's trying to kill me and steal my wife.
Doctors. They'll stop at nothing to get your wife.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire is Rod Eccles.
And welcome back, one and all, liberty lovers and ecclesiastics, to the Friday edition of the Rod Eccles Show.
Freedom Friday.
Yes, indeed, it is Freedom Friday, Friday, June number 23 in the year of our Lord 2017. As we get ready to slide on into the weekend and celebrate our regained freedom, and we try to, Donald Trump is trying to give us or return more of our freedom to us on a daily basis. We got to thank him for that. As well as, you know, it's summertime now, officially and unofficially, it's summertime. Lots of barbecues. We're coming up on the Independence Day week as well, so we're going to have lots of barbecues, lots of BBQ chicken and hot dogs and burgers and steak and pork chops. And does people cook pork chops on the grill? Yeah, you cook steak on the grill, but pork chop? I really don't see a lot of people going out and buying pork chops to cook on the grill for a barbecue. Steak, yes. Burgers, yes. Hot dogs, obviously. Chicken, barbecue. Yeah, barbecue chicken's a big thing. But I really haven't seen. I mean, pork. You know, what is it? The pork roastings. You know, where they roast the whole pork, the whole pig. Those I see that more often than I see people just going out and getting pork chops. And maybe pork chops aren't really big for barbecuing, and I don't barbecue pork chops. But I mean, I've attended a pig. It's kind of interesting to see a whole pig being roasted. I mean, they're not large. I know there's animal activists out there. How can you see this? It's got the face and everything. How with the apple in their mouth? How can you do that, Ron? That's so cruel. Not really. It's the way they used to do it. Look, I have come to accept my position as when it comes to the food chain. I'm an alpha. I'm at the top of the food chain. That's it. Just about everything else on the planet can be food for me, if I so desire. That's just the way. I'm sorry, but that's just the way. Well, I'm not sorry, but that's just the way it is. You know, we're at the top. It doesn't mean that we too can't be hunted and eaten. Yeah, I know there are other predators out there, if you will, that are at the top of the food chain along with man, but we're basically pretty the alpha of all alphas too, because we can take down anything. You know, a lion may have a difficult, unless it's the whole pride of lions. They're not going to take down, say, like a giraffe or an elephant. But one man can take down an elephant or a giraffe. So we are the alpha of alphas. But we're at the top of the food, so that means anything. I have no problem with eating a pig. If I like pork, I'm going to eat a pig. I like lamb, too. I know lambs they're just so cute and wonderful and cuddly, and they're also very tasty. Just saying. And it's time. That's something else I don't see anybody barbecuing lamb either. And originally, that's how we used to, open flame. That's how we used to cook just everything. So, why don't we barbecue lamb? Cook lamb on the. I'm going to try that. I'm going to get some lamb chops or something and cook it on the grill. See how that comes out. Maybe we'll do that this year. That should be fun. In any case, before I get into all this other stuff that we have here in the paper pile for Friday, let's bring on another caller. I do believe this is Dom, my good buddy Dom. By the way, for those of you who don't know who are just joining in, Dom does some of the parody spots that we have. I know he's got many voices. He's got a lot of the parody spots here on the program, like the new long-haired one. That's hilarious. I can't tell you I laughed out loud how long I laughed when I heard that for the first time. That was just hilarious. Perfect voice, spot on. Good morning, Dom. How are you?
I'm good, Rod, and thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Real quick, I had a couple of points. One is I do barbecue pork chops on the grill. They're good. A little bit of olive oil, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. You grill them up, they are really good. I love grilling pork chops. And two, I know that it was last segment, but your thoughts on on military training for police. I happen to actually agree. I'll look for this YouTube if I can find it afterwards. But a few years ago, I saw it was on. They had security footage of an ex-military guy who ambushed two police officers, and he had his way with them. I can't remember if the police officers died, but the other two police officers who showed up and actually took this guy down were ex-military. And he says, when he showed up, he said, we saw exactly what he was doing the second he did it. He said it was by the book. He said he lured these two police officers into a kill zone, and he said, and he had his way with them. He said, and he says, and it was the show in itself was about, policemen being outgunned. And the guy did have an AR-15, but the officer said this wasn't about them being outgunned. He says they were out tactic. He says their tactics weren't up to par. He says they didn't recognize what they were seeing, and he just used it to his advantage over and over again. So I agree with you when you say there's a fine line. We can't militarize our police, but we do need training for them that's on par with what they're facing.
Yeah, exactly. Being able to use to recognize situations and being able to use military tactics is it's a wonderful thing. I think that every single cop should know it. Do I think that we should give them, armored vehicles and bazookas and things like that? No, that's what I mean by militarizing our police. But it's just allowing them to be able to recognize a situation and being able to, as quickly as possible, even if they are outgunned, to be able to handle the situation and keep the peace. That is what's needed, because too many civilian cops are just being outclassed today, and it's sad, which is why a lot of them who do not have any military training might be quick on the trigger because they can't recognize what the hell is going on.
That is a really good point and a really good way to see it. Because they don't know what's going on, I don't care who you are, there is a fear factor. And once it kicks in, things become more dangerous. And better training, and they always talk about better training, but they never talk about what that better training is. The left wants you to believe that better training is a bigger smile and looking the other way. What we believe is better training is recognizing the situation, recognizing the potential threat and the real threat. And once you do that, you're not as likely to go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know how many times I got to say this, but I see the videos of it. And I'm not talking movies; I'm talking real video because of what we're able to see now and put on YouTube and other places. Is watching these men and some women who are under heavy fire in a firefight. And that their hearts are racing, but their actions, their movements, their observations, it is so controlled. I don't know if I could do that. I have no idea how they do it. But those are the kinds of people that you want to have patrolling your streets, who are that well trained that they can be under fire that way. They can still keep their wits about them and actually fire back properly, not just willy-nilly, but to control that fear, that fight or flight fear within every human being, and be able to accurately and properly respond. And most civilian cops that have never been in the military, they don't have that kind of training. So the fight or flight response kicks in. They don't recognize it's kicked in. They don't recognize the situation they're in. And then before you know it, we've got Black Lives Matter out there protesting a cop because the poor cop is undertrained. And in his fight or flight response that everybody has kicks in, and he couldn't control it because he didn't recognize it, and tragedy happens. Which that's sad, because a lot of times when stuff like this happens, it's not that they're bad apple cops. They're good cops. They're just undertrained, and they get caught in this mess, and their careers and their lives are ruined because of it, and that's sad. That should not happen.
I absolutely agree. It is sad. And when you said something, I want to try and drive this point home. They're not bad people if they didn't recognize what they were seeing. It's like, hey, I thought he went for a gun. Well, you didn't recognize what you were seeing. He was going for his license. You better. And some of that is through military training. Some of that is through better police training. But, that's a great point you made. A lot of this all comes down to, I really didn't know what I was seeing.
Yeah, that's and the fact that the public in general that they're patrolling doesn't have they're all alone out there. It's not the way it used to be. It used to be where the public had the cops back, but they can't even depend on that. Well, and part of that is their own fault because of the way they've changed their policing tactics. I'm not going to deny that. They put cops in cruisers and took them off the street, so they don't interact with public anymore. But that's also part of the problem. There's a lack of trust between the public and police departments, police officers, and that's easily changed, where cops won't feel that they're all alone out there.
And it is easily changed. We were talking about it in chat. I'll share it with everyone. We used to be taught civic duty in school. Now they're taught civic activism. And there's a big difference. They're taught. And there's another host. He's on YouTube. He's Gavin McInnes. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he makes such a great point about how easy it is to radicalize people in this day and age, because when you hit a certain age, you're always going to be that rebellious person. He says it's like a gene that just kicks in. He says, but now you're not taught any patriotism. He says, since a kid, you're taught America sucks. So it's very easy to radicalize a young person filled with testosterone. And it's because there's no love of country taught in this nation anymore.
Yeah, we don't have civics in this country. In most, even in a lot of private schools, there isn't any civics taught, but definitely in public schools, it's been removed, and it's gone the other way. If you're in high school, public high school, and you show love of USA, you're ostracized for it. I mean, it's one thing
if you
not
wear
to
a flag,
teach it. Yeah, but
they ask you to take it off.
Yeah, turn your shirt inside out, or go home and change, or we're not going to fly the American flag on an American public school campus because it might offend an immigrant. Are you kidding me? This is what we're teaching them. And then we don't teach them to grow up. We don't teach them to grow up at all either, because that's why we have pajama boys that are 23, 25 years old that are still living in mommy and daddy's basement playing video games and still asking for everything to be given to them instead of getting out their ass and going out and working for it, because they don't grow up.
And they are literal pajama boys. They go to the mall in their pajamas.
When did that become a fashion trend? I can't stand that. You don't wear pajamas out in public.
Here's when I see somebody walking around in pajamas at the mall. I'm like, congratulations, you didn't take a shower today, and you want everyone to know it.
I guess that's why dirty hair and man buns and beards came into fashion. And
yeah. That is true. All right, my friend, I've wasted enough of your time. You have an amazing day.
You too. We will talk again soon.
All right, bye.
Yeah, folks, you gotta teach civics, at least a little bit of self-pride. If they have some self-pride, then you're gonna have a lot less little whiny mamby-pamby, female males running around. Well, you will. Speaking of military, by the way, did you hear about this? This is going to change everything as far as war tactic is concerned. A Canadian sniper sniped his target over 2 miles away. Never been done before at such a great distance. I mean, the bullet actually had to fly for 10 full seconds. I mean, can you imagine? You pull the trigger, bullet exits the barrel, and you got to sit there and wait 10 seconds to see if it hit or not. Now, I don't know how you hit a target 2 miles away when the bullet's got to fly for 10 seconds, because the target could be moving. Not to mention all sorts of other atmospheric conditions. And I guess they even, according to reports, they even had to take into account the curvature of the planet for you flat earthlanders. If he would have thought that the Earth was flat, he would have missed his target. So soldiers even have to account for the Earth's curvature, and he got this jihadi over 2 miles away. So you do realize that once this sort of thing is done once, they can start teaching this and incorporating this, and that more sniping at greater distances than we currently do can be had. So can you imagine being a soldier or a jihadist somewhere? Now you're thinking of shots coming from relatively close, so you're looking, within a half-mile range. You don't see anybody, and you constantly get picked off. Well, it's because the guy's like 2 miles away. Congratulations! He's now in the record books, the longest sniper kill to date at 2.2 miles away. Confirmed kill. That's amazing, an absolutely amazing feat. And now maybe we won't see a lot more 2.2 mile shots, but I guarantee you're going to see more 1 and 1.5 mile sniper shots, successful shots. Because of what these guys did and how they did it, they're going to be able to teach it. It is going to spread, and we're just that's a good thing, and it's a bad thing. Can you imagine trying to keep dignitaries safe? Now your scope used to be, we can keep things cordoned off in a mile away. 2 miles away now? 3 miles away? What's the limit? If the building's tall enough and you've got line of sight 3 miles away, is that going to be the limit? 5 miles? I keep telling you folks, a whole new world out there now.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock,
But it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Of course, if we've got a confirmed report of 2.2-mile sniper kill, it makes one wonder if there have been sniper kills done at a greater distance but could not be confirmed. So, I mean, what is the limit? As we develop bigger, badder, better, smarter weapons, how about smart bullets? But actually, you know what? I did have a story. There was something about a smart bullet, and this was a few weeks ago that I came across this. What is it? In my very big, extensive paper pile. Oh, I should probably try to find it and pull it. There was something about developing a smart bullet. Not the type of smart bullet that you come to, you program the bullet and says kill only this person. It doesn't. Bullets can't do that, at least not yet. But these were smart bullets, in other words, in how they fly, and how a target could be tagged, and the bullet would hone in on that target. So literally, you could almost, because of the aerodynamics of the bullet, you could almost shoot around corners and catch somebody. So that is that's the way. That is concerned. That's the way. Hey, by the way, here's a new feature. Factoid of the day. Yes, the factoid of the day. Should I say factoid of the day? Did you know that Dr. Seuss was actually the first person to publish the word nerd? Yes, Dr. Seuss was the first person to publish the word nerd. Useless factoid of the day. Catfishing victim, this is from the Daily Mail, victim who was 19, opens fire on a man who posed as an attractive woman to strike up a relationship with him on an online dating site. That's right, Chauncey Wilkerson, 19, was catfished by a man pretending to be a woman. Now, he met the man posing as a beautiful woman on a dating app called Tagged. Sorry, I haven't heard of that. I've heard of Tinder. What the hell is Tagged? In any case, Wilkerson said that the man showed up at his house one day in his car. He ran into Wilkerson and his mom in their driveway. When they approached him, Wilkerson responded by pulling out a gun and shooting at him 4 times. The 19-year-old from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, has been arrested in relation to the incident. What are these people thinking? I mean, if you got to know if a person is, bends that way first. If they don't, what are you expecting to get out of it? So the humiliated 19-year-old was arrested for trying to shoot dead a man who catfished him on a dating app by pretending to be an attractive woman. And second, why do you people still use these dating apps?
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Bring the rain.
603-835-3226. That is the call-in number. You still got a little bit of time to call in. We haven't heard from Rob, my Twitter foe. The Twitter twat has not called in yet, as I didn't think that he would. But here's hoping that he still has a little bit of time to do so. So if you know Rob from Twitter, remind him the show's on now. I don't want to have him calling, again at 2 o'clock this afternoon saying, "You told me to call." Any case, folks, if you listen to this show on a regular basis, or even if you don't, we have different things that we do here on this program, because this is infotainment. This is not like your typical talking head program, as if you listen, you well know. It's entertaining, but it's informative entertainment. And one of the things that we do here is a tribute to military personnel, fallen military personnel. And we ask the public, I just extend an invitation to the public, if you know somebody who was in the military and they have now since passed away, and it doesn't matter if they served in World War II, if they served in Vietnam or Iraq, or if they were in active duty but they never saw active combat, doesn't matter. If they served in the military as a full-time military person, or they were serving active duty at any time because they were in the Air Guard, Air National Guard, or Army Reserves or what have you, and they got called up, and they're no longer with us, it's about time that we give these people the recognition that they so deserve and don't. And every Thursday on Military Tribute Thursdays, I read a tribute that was written by a family member or a fellow serviceman or neighbor that knew this person well. And we give them the proper recognition. And we've been doing this for about a month now, and it has gotten overwhelmingly positive reviews. And I'm going to keep doing it, because it's a good thing. So if you know somebody that fits this description, active military personnel, no longer alive, and you want to give them, their due, then write down a quick, doesn't have to be long drawn out, just a quick, tribute to them, and send it to rod@rodeccles.net, and put in the headline tribute, so I know what it is. Make sure that you include their name, their rank, their date of birth, their date of service, meaning when did they enter the service, the date of their passing, and a brief description of what they did in the military, what their life was about in the military. Did they win any special awards? What combat missions did they see? What theaters of war were they in? Just something brief about their military description, so we can give them the proper credit and honor that they're not getting in this country today. Also, if you have questions, just random questions about anything, we're going to try to answer a question a day starting next week. So write your question down. You can either tweet that question to me over on Twitter @LRod, or you can send it to rod@rodeccles.net, the email address, and in the headline tagline put question, so I know what that is. I will attempt to try. I don't know everything, but I will attempt to answer any question. It could be a serious question, a comical question, we'll try to answer a question a day, depending on if you guys ask any questions. So there you go. On to some other stuff this morning. Here we have 30 GOP congressmen have been attacked or threatened since May. A total of 30 Republican members of the Congress have reported to either have been attacked or reveal that they were the victim of a death threat since the beginning of May. Now, back on May 8th, Wendy Wright was arrested after stalking Representative Dave Kustoff, Kustoff, of Tennessee, and trying to run him off the road. After pulling over, Wright began to scream and strike the windows of Kustoff's car and even reached inside his vehicle. And on May 9th, Virginia Representative Tom Garrett needed heavy security at a town hall after receiving a series of death threats in May that police deemed to be credible and real. May 12th, a town hall participant accosted North Dakota Representative Kevin Kramer, shoving fake dollar bills into his suit jacket. A Kramer supporter grabbed the same man by the neck. Both men were ejected by law enforcement, but neither were charged. May 12th, a Tucson, Arizona school district employee was arrested by the FBI for sending several death threats to Arizona Representative Martha McSally. May 21st, Florida Representative Ted Yoho described his office getting vandalized by protesters. One female constituent left a voicemail on his office answering machine promising, "Next time I see you, I'm going to beat your effing ass." June 14th, Rand Paul, Senator, and Jeff Flake, Arizona, and Representatives Steve Scalise, Kevin Brady, Jack Berman, Mike Bishop, Mike Conaway, Roger Williams, John Molinar, Gary Palmer, Chuck Fleischman, Ron DeSantis, Barry Loudermilk, Mark Walker, Steve Pierce, Brad Winstrup, Rodney Davis III, Trent Kelly, Mo Brooks, and Joe Barton were attacked by a gunman during baseball practice in Alexandria, Virginia. And Rand Paul has received numerous death threats. June 17th, Missouri Representative Ann Wagner revealed that she had gotten 5 death threats in the weeks leading up to the Scalise shooting. June 22nd, an Ohio man was arrested for leaving a voicemail threatening the life and family of Representative Steve Stivers of Ohio. This goes on and on and on, and yet we get people like Bernie Sanders telling their wonderful constituents to go out there and do whatever's necessary. What do you think that means? This is not new. This has been escalating, and the left is escalating this. Has there been any threats or any attacks perpetrated on liberal Democrat representatives or senators? No, this is all going against Republicans and conservatives. And I'm telling you, this is going to lead to something that is not good for liberals, because Republicans are going to retaliate. They're going to fight back. And that's not going to be good for the left. But are you hearing this in the lamestream media at all? No, of course not. Because it doesn't fit their narrative that Republicans are mean, cruel, intolerant. If you attack somebody, is that because you're tolerant of them? If you try to shoot somebody, is that because you're tolerant of their beliefs? I think it's because you're intolerant. So who's been doing most of the intolerant crime in this country of late? Well, it's been the left. And I thought they were the tolerant ones. Well, that may change. But by the way, another story here from the Washington Post, touting a study calling the United States a second-tier country. Yeah, folks, I kid you not. Washington Post published not one but 2 articles pushing a study claiming the United States is now a second-tier nation. Now, how the United States became a second-tier country is up for debate, unless, of course, you're this leftist group. In some ways, such as Americans access to higher education, the USA remains an undeniably exceptional nation when compared with its global counterparts. But in other ways, the United States is not only unexceptional, but it also lags behind similar countries around the globe. The Washington Post, touted a study from the Social Progress Imperative. Let me repeat that name to you. The Social Progress Imperative, which is a U.S.-based nonprofit that produces an annual ranking of the well-being of countries. The group placed the U.S. at 18th overall out of 180 countries measured, putting it in the second tier of world nations along with Japan, France, and Belgium. Why? Well, according to the study, the United States is especially lacking in the tolerance and inclusion category, including religious tolerance, discrimination, and violence against minorities, and the existence of communal safety nets. So let's take that backwards. We don't have enough safety nets, evidently. Are you kidding me? In some states, if you're on welfare, you're making the equivalent of $32,000 a year. That's a living wage, by the way. It's more than $15 an hour. But we don't have enough of that. Violence against minorities, discrimination, well, who's right now perpetrating all the violence against minorities? Well, you got minority group, protesting minority group. Black Lives Matter protesting the gay LGBT community, and the LGBT community not being able to say anything because it's Black Lives Matter. We had that going on all month long during Gay Pride. So it's the left that's doing that, not the right. Religious tolerance. Yeah, we don't like extreme Islam. But who's the one that's being discriminated against? Every time a Christian wants to put up a cross somewhere, no, you can't put up that cross. You can't pray at say Jesus' name in a football game. You can't talk about the Bible in public high school. Who's being discriminated against? The Christians. What tolerance and inclusion? It's the left that doesn't have any tolerance and inclusion. So you've got some ultra-leftist group called the Social Progress Imperative, claiming that the United States is a second-tier nation because of all the stuff that the left is doing. You want to fix that? You can't make this shit up, folks. I'm sorry, you can't. You have a leftist group trying to denigrate the United States because it doesn't have enough religious tolerance. It discriminates and has violence against minorities, and the existence of a community safety net isn't enough out there. That's all the stuff that the left is doing. Because when it comes to violence and discrimination and intolerance, that's all the left. I mean, the left is out there shooting congressmen and senators. The left is out there threatening the lives of the families and well-being of congressmen and senators. The left is out there suing Christians left and right so Christians can't publicly express their religious beliefs. It's the left. The leftists. And somehow we on the right are being blamed for all that the left is doing. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's true, folks. We have another story here from The Hill. Pelosi aides are sending allies suggested tweets backing her. So says a report. House Democrat leader Nancy Pelosi on Thursday tried to cement her control of the House Democrats by sending out tweets defending her record to her allies and then retweeting them, according to a New York Times reporter. The Times' Maggie Haberman tweeted a list of suggested tweets on Thursday that she and Pelosi was sending to other House Democrats. Tweet included the hashtag Stand With Nancy and questions like why we are blasting our most effective fighter. Pelosi's your most effective. That explains why you're losing. Tweet, 23 million about to lose their health care. Why are we blasting our most effective fighter? Hashtag stand with Nancy. There is so much at stake. The health care of millions is on the line, and some want to target the most effective legislator in modern history? Hashtag stand with Nancy. The most effective really? Y'all gonna make me either throw up or crack up. One of the two. I mean,
What if I told you that you could lose weight simply by drinking coffee? Change your coffee, change your life. Our gourmet estate-grown coffee is infused with powerful herbs that help you melt fat and keep you from feeling hungry for 6+ hours. Get results or your money back. Order yours today at skinnycoffeeshop.com. That's skinnycoffeeshop.com. Tea and water also available. skinnycoffeeshop.com.
Have a legal problem and need some serious legal advice? Then you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Any facts we say here are probably wrong, and any analysis of the law should not be followed.
There you go. Reasonable men are here to take a twisted look at the law.
Stack your hay right.
Learn in hand. Best name in law school.
Check us out on iTunes, reasonablemen.com, or on your favorite podcast app.
Reasonable men are back.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Welcome back. By the way, if you don't want to drive cross country, if you just want to drive locally and make some extra money, then Uber's for you. There are a lot of new things that is putting more money into the pockets of Uber drivers that were announced this past week. So this is a perfect time to find out more about Uber and see if Uber is right for you. Use your own car. Buy a car, rent a car, lease a car. All of those methods will allow you to drive for Uber and make a ton of money, part-time or full-time. As I've said before, there are drivers out there making six figures. Drivers making $2,000 a week. And they're not working 100 hours. like some reports have said. No, I mean, again, you get to make your own hours. You turn on the app whenever you want to, and when you're tired of driving, you turn off the app. It could be an hour. You could turn it on for an hour, drive for an hour. Turn it on for 8 hours, drive for 8 hours. That's fine. It's up to you. Get all the details and the potential for bonuses just for signing up by going over to rodeccles.net/store and clicking the Uber button. Now, remember, if you do this if you join Uber without doing that first, you will most likely not be eligible for a lot of the bonuses for new drivers. You have to go through that link. That is a special link for my listeners to be eligible for up to, depending on your area, up to $500 in bonuses just for signing up and completing a few trips. rodeccles.net/store. Click the Uber button. Did you know? Millennials are bolstering the plastic surgery industry? Well, not just any millennials, millennial men. Yes, nose jobs and ear pinnings are among the most common procedure. What, do their ears stick out? They want their ears pinned back towards on their heads. I used to do that to kids, babies. I used to tape the ears back so the ears would grow closer to the head so they wouldn't stick out. But evidently we stopped doing that, so now a lot of kids have their, like me and Will Smith, our ears stick out. Yeah, we can. But I'm not going to pin my ears back. So cosmetic procedures are of increasing interest to millennial men. A new industry report found that 31% of men said that they were extremely likely to consider a cosmetic procedure either surgical or non-invasive, according to the survey conducted by the American Academy of Facial, Plastic, and Reconstructive Surgery. Among that 31%, 58% said that they were from the 25 to 34-year-old range, and 34% were aged 18 to 24. Both age ranges are members of the millennial generation. So the top reason cited by respondents pursuing a cosmetic procedure to appear younger was wanting to feel better about themselves. Wait, they're a maximum of 34 years old and they want to look younger? Really? And feel better about themselves. Well, as I have stated before, there are legitimate cosmetic surgery procedures, especially if one has a crooked nose or a gigantic nose. You want to, get rhinoplasty or to correct some other, deformities, then it would be fine. But just so you can think that you can look better? Can we say Michael Jackson era now? Generation? Legal pot also. And car crashes. There is a correlation. And those in places in states where legal pot is legal, like Colorado, Oregon, and the state of Washington, correlates to up to a 5% increase in auto collision claims. So there are more crashes out there because of people smoking pot legally. Okay, I guess I'm not going to be driving in those states anytime soon. Wow. But pot doesn't harm people, so they say. Just saying. Well, that sound means that we're out of time for today, but not just today. Fastest 3 hours, fastest 5 days on Internet Talk Radio is right here. So we are out of time. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you bright and early on Monday. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.